So year 8, we looked yesterday at genre and all the different types of genre that there are, and we're going to focus on different types of genre over the next few lessons. So today we're focusing on horror and being able to write using the features of the horror genre. We're going to look at a piece of writing together and look at how it's been put together, the different features that have been used, and answer some questions on it before we have a go at writing on our own. So this is the Shadow Man. She made herself shout, and again and again. She even picked up a fist-sized rock that lay at the bottom of the pile and banged on each stone wall, slowly and rhythmically. In between each burst of noise, she listened. There was absolutely no sound in answer. At last, with the flashlight nearly out, she sat down with her back against the boulders, drawing her arms and legs in like an anemone. Then the whispering began. It started so softly that at first she thought it might be the blood rushing in her ears. But it was real. The voices were distant and musical, and menacing. What they were saying was too indistinct to be made out. Shoulders hunched, Jenny turned her head slowly, trying to locate the sound, and there in the darkness she saw eyes. They glowed with their own light, like foxfire. They were cold, ravenous. She recognised them from her grandfather's closet. The Shadow Men. The Shadow Men were here with her. Okay, so you can see around the edge of that piece of writing, we've got several questions. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and have a go at answering those questions in your books, and give yourself about 5 minutes to do those, then we'll go through some answers. Okay, so let's just go through these questions. So the first one, words are repeated for effect. What's the effect here? So we've got she made herself shout and again and again. Hopefully you've got down there, it's showing Jenny's desperation. She's not just shouted once and then given up. It's over and over and over, showing how scared she actually is. We've got the use of different sounds creates tension. What other sounds are described? So that's when she's banging on the walls with a fist-sized rock that she's picked up. So the other sounds that we've got in there, we've got the whispering began, and then we've got the silence. Okay, and silence can be quite scary. If you think about if you've ever seen any horror films, silence quite often comes before there might be some sort of jump scare. So it really adds to that tension. We've got the similes. She's drawn her arms and legs in like an anemone, as you can see on the picture. So she's really hunched herself up like this. And if we think about that position, it's actually called the fetal position. And it's the position that a baby's in before it's born. If you think about pictures of babies inside mum's tummy, and that's the position that they're in. And it's a position that we might get ourselves in because we feel safe and secure in that position. So if ever we're feeling a little bit nervous, a bit worried about stuff, we might hunch ourselves up a little bit, and that's why subconsciously we know that that's a safe and secure position to get ourselves in. It helps us feel a little bit better about things. Next question asks us about short sentences and what the effect of the short sentences is. Things like then the whispering began, or but it was real. Short sentences really stand out, and if you want something to stand out in your writing, if you have a few longer sentences and then a short sentence amongst it, it will really make your words stand out. It makes the reader pause and think about what words you're using. The next question asked us about adjectives, creating tension, and different adjectives that are used in this piece of writing. So adjectives, remember, are describing words. So we've got fist-sized, which describes the rock. You've got real, you've got distant, musical and menacing, describing the voices, and cold and ravenous that describe the eyes. Okay, so they're the adjectives in the piece of writing. And then the final question said the focus is on Jenny's experience throughout. What's the effect of this? So the effect of that means that we actually focus on what's going on with Jenny, and it almost makes it feel like it's happening to us. If you've ever read a book, I quite often read books at night and get a little bit scared by them because I feel like the things are happening to me. Or if you're watching a scary film, it feels like the people are coming to get you. So with the focus being on that main character, it really makes it feel like you're involved in this story. Okay, so we're just going to pause again now, and there's going to be something that you need to copy down, some features of horror writing. Okay, so Here we've got the features of horror writing that we've seen in this piece of writing. Keeps a sense of tension throughout, so it makes it feel nervous. We're making us wonder what's going to happen next. We've got the focus on Jenny and the sounds, the use of adjectives, short sentences, and repetition for effect. So if you want to copy those down, because they're the features that you're going to be using in a couple of minutes. So the activity that we're going to do now is you're actually going to carry on with this piece of writing. I want you to do another 2 or 3 paragraphs thinking about what's going to happen next to Jenny. Now think about what's gone on so far. She's in some sort of cave or something like that. We know that there are rocks in there. We know that she's backed up against a stone wall. She's been banging rhythmically, trying to get out, trying to find some sort of way out, shouting for help. Think about what's happening next. The shadow men are coming towards her. She can hear their voices, distant, musical and menacing. She can see their eyes glowing like foxfire as they come closer and closer. What is going to happen next to her? You need to make sure that you follow those features. So you need to make sure you're keeping that sense of tension. Don't make it all out so that she opens her eyes and it's actually a puppy or something like that. This is a piece of horror writing, so it needs to be scary. Think about what happens as they come closer. Can she feel their breath on her face? Can she hear their voices getting louder and louder? Is she going to escape? What's going to happen to her? So in your English books, or whether you're working on paper, wherever you're working, I'd like you to have a go at writing the next 2 or 3 paragraphs of what happens next to Jenny. As I've said before, if you want to email me this work, that's absolutely fine. You've got my work email address, or you can have a look on the school website if you haven't already got it. Take a photo of your work if you're writing on paper. If you've done it on the computer, just email me the work. I'm more than happy to have a look at it and give you some feedback, okay? That's what we're doing for today. Thank you.